Hi, I'm Natalie Benz, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you two scary babysitting stories. But very quickly, before I get into today's video, if you enjoy my videos but you're not yet subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. That would make me so happy. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much, and let's get into it. Number 1. One night, a married couple decide that they want to go out and spend an evening together alone without the children. So they call in a teenage babysitter. When the babysitter arrives, they explain to her that the 3 children are asleep upstairs, so there's no need to disturb them. And they also let her know that they're going to be back pretty late. So the couple leave and the babysitter settles down and starts doing her homework, waiting for a call from her boyfriend. Now, her boyfriend had told her earlier that he was going to give her a call at some point in the evening to kind of keep her company on the phone while she's babysitting alone and just have a chat. So as she's doing her homework, the phone rings. She picks up the phone and she's greeted by silence on the other end of the line. She says hello, nobody answers, and then she just hears a click indicating that the person at the other end of the line hung up the phone. So she just goes back to doing her homework, and a few minutes later the phone rings again. So she picks up the phone, and this time a man's voice says, "Have you checked the children?" And then he hangs up the phone. At first she kind of thinks it might have been the dad phoning to check up to see if everything was okay in the house, to make sure the children were okay, and maybe he got disturbed or interrupted, so he had to hang up the phone. So she just goes back to doing her homework. And a few minutes pass again, and again the phone rings. She picks up the phone and the creepy man's voice is there once again. "Go check on the children." And then he hangs up the phone again. So now she's starting to get a little bit freaked out, so she decides to phone the restaurant where the married couple have gone for their meal. And she's informed that they left a short while earlier. So as she's sitting there wondering what she should do next, the phone rings again. She picks up the phone, and once again the creepy man's voice, "Go check on the children." And again he hangs up the phone. So now she's getting really scared, so she decides to phone the police, and she phones them and says she's getting these prank phone calls, these scary phone calls, and the dispatcher asks her, has she been threatened in any way? So of course she had to answer no, and she was informed that there's not much they can do, although they did advise her to phone the phone company to report the prank calls. A few minutes go by again, and she gets another phone call, and this time the man seems to be getting creepier and a little bit more agitated with her. And he says, "Why haven't you checked the children?" In a panicky voice she asks, "Who is this?" But once again he simply hangs up the phone. So she phones the police again. This time she's really freaking out. She tells them that she feels like someone's watching her, that she feels scared, that she's alone in this house babysitting these children who are asleep upstairs, but she keeps getting these scary, creepy phone calls. The dispatcher explains to her that there's not much they can do. The babysitter goes into panic mode, and she is begging the dispatcher to help her, saying that she feels so scared, she's alone in this house babysitting these 3 children, and she doesn't know what to do. So the dispatcher now tries to calm her down and says, "Give me the telephone number of the house and the full house address, and I will try and trace the call, but next time you receive a call from this person, please try and keep him on the line for at least 1 minute, because that will help us to trace the call." The babysitter agrees and hangs up the phone. She now decides to turn the lights down so she can see if there's anybody lurking around outside, and that's when she gets the next phone call. The creepy man says, "It's me. Why did you turn the lights down?" She panics and she's asking, "Can you see me? How can you see me? Can you see me?" And the man says, "Yes, I can see you." So she then says, "Look, you've scared me enough. You've really scared me. I'm sitting here shaking. Is that what you want?" And the man says, no. So she asks, then what do you want? There's a long pause, and then the man replies, your blood all over me. That's what I want. She slams the phone down, terrified now, and almost immediately the phone rings again. So she picks it up screaming, what do you want? What do you want? Leave me alone. But it's the dispatcher calling her back, and his voice is urgent. The dispatcher says, we have traced the call and it's coming from a telephone in another room in the house. Get out of that house now. She slams the phone down and runs for the front door, and as she's struggling to open the door, she realises that the chain is still on the latch. So in the time it takes her to unlatch, she turns around and she sees the children's bedroom door opening upstairs, and she can make out the profile of a man. She unhooks the chain and she runs outside as a police car is pulling up. The police enter the house, they get the man, they drag him downstairs in handcuffs, he's covered in blood. And when they check in the children's bedroom, all 3 children had been murdered. Now, I actually remember this story back from when I was in primary school. I remember this story. It used to freak me out then, and it still freaks me out now. And there's a lot of different versions of the story online. Some of them, the children don't get murdered and they catch the guy just in time. In other versions, they get the girl and the babysitter as well. But it's still a story that scares me to this day. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this one. Let me know if you've ever had a scary babysitting phone call experience. Number 2. So this story starts in a very similar way, almost exactly the same as the other one, in that a married couple decide that after a week of looking after the kids, they fancy a night together, spend some alone time, and they book a restaurant to go for a nice romantic meal together. And they call a local girl who's a teenager to babysit for them. When the babysitter arrives, the couple tell her to make some supper for the children and then put them to bed. The father tells her that she can watch TV and to help herself to anything in the fridge if she wants a drink or a snack or anything like that. The mother interrupts and asks the babysitter if she would mind watching TV in their bedroom, because the children have been having nightmares recently and they just wanted her to be closer to their bedroom in case they woke up scared, so she could go and comfort them. The babysitter agreed and the parents left for their date. She makes the children some supper and then takes them up to bed and reads them a bedtime story, and pretty soon afterwards they fall asleep. So she tucks them in and turns off the lights and goes into the parents' bedroom to watch TV. When the babysitter went into the parents' bedroom, she sat there watching TV, but she noticed that there was a really creepy looking clown statue in the corner of the room. And while she was watching TV, she felt like the eyes of this clown, this statue, were watching her, and it started to give her the creeps. And as time passed on, she started to feel more and more uneasy in this room with this creepy looking clown statue. Whenever she glanced at the clown statue, she got this uneasy feeling that it had moved slightly or turned his head slightly. She tried to ignore it, but finally it freaked her out so much and really gave her the creeps that she decided she couldn't stay in this room anymore. So she went to watch TV downstairs. When the babysitter gets downstairs, she decides to call the parents on the telephone number that they had left for her, and when she rings, the mother answers. So the babysitter asks her, is it okay if I watch TV downstairs? The children are fast asleep in bed, they're perfectly fine. So the mother tells her, yes, that's absolutely fine, but why do you want to watch TV downstairs now? So the girl says, I know this sounds so silly, but that clown statue in your bedroom is really freaking me out and giving me the creeps. The mother is silent for a moment, and then she hears what sounds like the mother passing the phone to somebody else, and of course she was passing it to the father. The father comes on the phone and says, could you just tell me what you just told my wife? So she says, yes, I was just hoping I could watch TV downstairs because the clown statue in your bedroom is giving me the creeps. And the father goes silent for a moment and then says, Listen to me very carefully. Go and get the children and get them out of the house now. We will phone the police. Just get the children out of the house now. The girl is obviously a bit shaken and taken aback by what he just said, and she's like, what's wrong? And the father tells her, we don't have a clown statue. For a second, the babysitter just froze. She stood there glued to the spot, not knowing how to react and what to do. And then obviously her adrenaline kicked in. She dropped the phone. She ran up the stairs. She grabbed the children, carried them one in each arm down the stairs, and then out of the house, out into the street, just out of there. Huddled up on the pavement, waiting for the police, couched up with the children, she looks up to the window of the house, and what she sees terrifies her, and she actually screamed out in horror. Peeking through the curtains of the bedroom window was the face of a clown. The clown stared at her for a moment and then slipped back into the darkness of the house. Within minutes, the police arrived and they entered the house, and they found a man in a clown costume. And when they arrested him, they found that he had a knife hidden inside the costume. The clown turned out to be a mentally disturbed man who was a convicted murderer and a cold-blooded killer. This evil clown man had been stalking the family for months, living in their attic and coming down only in the night time. For weeks, the children had been complaining to their parents of a scary clown statue in their bedroom, and the parents had simply dismissed it as nightmares. And that's story number 2. Oh, that's a good one. That was a good one. I hadn't actually heard of that one before. I'd heard of the first one, but not the clown statue one. And how creepy is that? Can you imagine a clown statue that actually turns out to be a real man who's a convicted killer? Oh my. So what I would love to know from you is, have you ever had a terrifying, scary, creepy babysitting experience? I love reading your comments. I really do. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That would make me so happy. And remember, always keep an open mind. Now I'm going to make a lovely cup of tea and I will see you in my next video.